I was told that people appreciated that I read their book, and I took the Evelyn Wood Reading Dynamics course, where you basically you turn the page and you make a question mark down the page, and then the next one, and then you turn the page and you make a question mark down these pages, and you think, I'm not going to retain any of this. I cannot do this. Well, you do. It's not fun to read that way, although they touted it as being something you'd really enjoy. Like you read Jaws in 10 minutes and you get the full impact of the Peter Benchley book. No, I would much rather have read it at my own pace. But if you have to get into 3 books a night and have some sort of working knowledge of it, you can do it. And so I did do that. So I was told that authors appreciated that I was very familiar with their book and that I listened to what they had to say rather than planning my next question. That seemed to be very appreciated. And there were lessons I learned when that did not follow true to form. I remember Maria von Trapp coming on early in my career. She was already elderly and ornery. You don't expect Maria von Trapp to be ornery. But she was in a heck of a bad mood that morning. And I asked her, this is very early in my work, I asked, and what happened to your father? I asked her. And she said, if you had read my book, you would know that he died in chapter 7. And that was the last time I was not familiar with at least the beginning, the middle, and the end of a book. You learn your lessons by failing, Ralph would usually laugh at my stupidity, which kind of, embarrassed me at the moment, but softened the blow. I can remember not knowing something about an alcoholic beverage, and I asked, won't it spoil? And Ralph howled about that because, of course, the alcohol was the perfect preservative and it wasn't going to spoil at all. Silly little mistakes that come from youth. But, again, he and our producers, kids themselves, he mentored a lot of people, prepared us so well that our mistakes were not major, they were minor. And that was because no matter how open and free a show is, it better be well produced or you're going to look like an idiot more often than you should. In later shows where the talent was not as rich and not as much care was taken, and we were thrown on the air to kind of just, twist in the wind, I know that I looked stupid. Later on, morning shows where I was interviewing sports figures, I was way out of my depth. But if you can keep talking and keep asking the next question and let the expert talk, then you save yourself. Usually you remember, of course, the moments that were just great. Tennessee Williams, for instance, who admitted during an interview on a show called Every Day, one of my favorite shows. It lasted only a year. We were a cast of 7. Every Day it was called. Interviews, music, sketches, the works. Fabulous year. Tennessee Williams was on the show with us and admitted to his being quite a drinker during his entire career of writing. And I asked, do you think you might have done even more brilliant work had you been sober? And Tennessee Williams said to me, inebriated even at that moment, he said, what? Improve on Blanche Dubois? Isn't that wonderful? It's those little rich moments that you savor and recall, in the midst of all the dross of the stupid interviews that come and go and you can't remember a darn thing about them.